If you're struggling with nationwide wholesaling, it's because of the fact that you are going after deals that you have no business going after. In this video, I'm going to share with you my methodology for reviewing deals and figuring out what's a deal, what's not a deal. And I'm going to walk you through the different tools that I use in order to determine this. And then that way you're not going chasing your tail after deals that you shouldn't be chasing after. Because here's the problem: when you do online marketing like we teach, when you're going after and doing wide marketing and you're getting leads all over the country, they're going to be cheap. And the thing you have to kind of get used to is that it's okay to throw away some of these leads. It's okay to take a lead and just throw it in the trash. And that's not something that most investors are used to doing, simply because, if you've got leads that you're paying $150 for, then you don't want to throw it away. But if you got a lead that you paid $10 for and it's in the middle of nowhere, then guess what? It's not a big deal. You just let it go. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through some actual leads that have come in that came in the past. These are not like current leads, so I'm not going to show you like leads that are like that are just from a couple of days ago, because you might call them and you might say, Chico, why would I ever do that? Well, maybe there's some people here that are not so nice as you. So we're going to go ahead, and what I do is as soon as I have the address, you look it up on Google and look it up on Zillow. And so the quick thing that I'm going to analyze, and we're not going to sit here and analyze the deal. We're going to analyze the viability of the lead. And so here's how this works. Let me make this a little smaller. I don't think you need to see me that big. So the first thing I do is I come in. This is Trinity, Texas. I don't know Trinity, Texas, and I'm going to zoom out. And it's near Houston, San Antonio. And at first glance, you could misdiagnose this lead because it seems to be in the middle of nowhere. And so then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at Zillow. And we can see here that this property here appears to be a mobile home. Now, that by itself is not a negative. We do really well with mobile homes. As long as the land is included, then that's fine that it's a mobile home. Zillow has a picture of it here, which again is not big of an issue. But what we'll do is we'll click outside here, and then very quickly, I can see that, wow, there's a lot of activity happening here. Now, if I'm on Zillow, now granted, the only tools I use is Zillow, Google Maps, and Investor Base. So I'm going to go ahead and reset all my filters just because I don't know what I was doing before in terms of searches. I'm going to go ahead and select houses, and then I am going to now look to see what I have here. Now, I'll look at this particular deal here. It is around this little peninsula, so I'm just kind of eyeballing it so I can understand where it's at. So it is right around here. Now, from a viability of a market, there's definitely activity here. Now, if this particular person, I don't have the information in front of me, but let's say they were asking definitely under $300,000. So what I'll do is I'll bracket that by reducing the price point, and then that way I'm only looking at similar properties. In this scenario, it is a mobile home, so what I could do is toggle back and forth within manufactured homes, and then that way I can see what's available. There's no manufactured homes, mostly single family, which could be a good thing. They could be miscoded because you can see here see how these show up on the right. It looks like they're mobiles for sure here, but they may not be tagged as such, which is fine. And then the main thing I'm going to look at in this scenario is I am going to go to Investor Base, and I'm going to pop in the address here. And if you're interested, you can get a free trial of Investor Base and $100 off your first month, because I want to know, are there real estate investors in this particular area? Now, I'm analyzing this from the perspective of a wholesale deal. Now, when I zoom out here, and I am going to reset some of these filters. I'm going to go 3, I'm going to go 1 year, and then I'm going to leave those there selected. I'm going to go back again after adjusting the geography. Now, it could be that they just don't have that much activity here. But let's say that, so is there potentially an issue with their database here? Only way to find out is I'm going to go in here. I'm going to get an address. Any random address will suffice. I really want a single family house, so let me see if I can find a single family house here. I'm going to go in here. I'll pick an address here. There you go. I'm going to grab that address, and I'm going to pop it into here to see and to make sure. It says address not found. Let's go to Zillow, and let's pop in an alternative address here. See, this is the mobile here. My computer. Oh, see, so this is interesting. So, one of the things you can look at is you look through the active properties, and if you see something like this, where you have a property that is in fairly good condition, fully updated, so they actually spent some money. So that means that there's people buying stuff and redoing them. So if I now go back to investor base, and I'll put that address in there to see if something else shows up. So in this scenario, if I'm using this as a vehicle to try to get investor buyers in this area, I'm not showing that much. Now, what does that mean? Then it would mean that that particular deal may be a candidate better for novation. And so what I need to determine is how good is that market moving? And then what I'll do is I'll come here, and you can see here the 116 results here. And if I take and I toggle and I go to pending, it'll tell me the total inventory. So 129 total inventory, but 116 is the pending. The 129 is total, 116 is available. So only really about what is that? 116 minus 129. So 13 available out of the 129. Ooh, that's like 10% of the inventory is pending. That's not good. That is not good. So then if I further decrease and I say, let's go under 150,000, let's go under 200,000, then I'll toggle here and I'll see if where the pendings are. Let's see if I click on this 140, that might be active. That was pending. And then we can see how many days on the market. So this is a market that, this is 35 days on the market. But this is one where it's a little bit iffy because it's a mobile home. It's a slower moving market. There's no investors. So if you're going to go strictly wholesaling, this would not be a good idea. If you're going to do novation, that might work. But now you're dealing with a trailer that is could be old and unfinanceable, which would become a problem for a novation deal because it looks like a lot of these trailers here are rehabbed. So we look at this here. This is the brand new one. So right now on this particular deal, this is one that personally, this is in pretty good shape. Nice looking one. I would probably, and I don't have the price on it. So now this would be a no for me. I probably would say, you know what, the trailer, not that the market isn't really moving that well. In addition to that, I can't find any cash buyers. So that would be one that I wouldn't go after. Hey, by the way, if you're interested in more hands-on help in terms of analyzing your deals, running ads, and everything else to do with nationwide wholesaling, click the link in the description, and then we'll give you a couple options that we have available where we can even set this entire thing up for you, show you how to run it, and then in the end, now you're doing deals virtually. All you got to do is play around with your computer all day long, figure out which ones are the best opportunities, go after those, and then you can actually stop cold calling and all that other nonsense. All right, so the next one here is a property at, let me put in the address again here. And I'm running Safari here just because Chrome just really slows down on my computer. This is in Hazelhurst, Georgia. Never heard of Hazelhurst, Georgia. So then I am going to search on Google. Let's close this one. We're going to go ahead and close this one. So right here on Google, I'll click on that. I already have the Zillow open. And on Google, we're just going to take a quick look and see where it's at geographically. So I will just zoom out here. And so this is Hazelhurst. That's Savannah there. So it kind of looks a little bit maybe off the beaten path. But again, it's between these towns. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to click on Zillow on the over here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove my boundary. I'm going to go ahead and then I'm going to reset here, hit apply, and now I can see some activity. Let's say I typically will eliminate the high end. So let's say 550 and under, hit apply. And then I'm going to go ahead and look to see how many, there's 42 results here. If I go here, pending, then I get 50. So 8 pending deals. So relative to 8 pending out of 50 is right 50. So 8 divided by 50. Percentage wise 16, like to have it at least 20%, better if it was 30%. And so then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that address and pop it into investor base. So then that way I can see if there's any buyers. So here in this scenario, there's only a handful of buyers. There's one here, and these two are the ones that are showing up here. So not a this wouldn't be a wholesale deal. So then now when I look at this, I would look at my property, um, which is your typical investor looking house. And the location here. All right, so here I'm looking at this. And one of the things that I'm looking for is what is the pending? So I want to see what the days on the market are for these that are going pending. 89 days on the market. That was completely redone. Updated. That was an updated house. Took 90 days. So the thing with this is if you're going to do like an ovation, then you have to be mindful of that it's not going to be a 30-day thing. You're not going to find a buyer in 30 days, right? It's just not going to happen. Let's take a look at this here. Let's see if this one was updated. I mean, these are not in bad shape. These are updated, fairly okay houses. And so then, and this one's pending, 16 days pending. So that's not that bad. But in this scenario, right, you would look at this and you'd have to do an ovation because if you're going to put this on the contract to try to do a wholesale deal, it's just not, it's not going to work out. All right. You're going to have, so part of this process is it viable? And then also, what type of transaction can you do with this particular property? So we're going to do one more. All right, so the next one here that shows up is one in Port Richey. This is a populated area, so we do get these leads in as well. And in this particular area, obviously, you're going to have a lot of activity. And so this is one where you would, if those other leads came in, you look at them, and on the first one with a trailer, I would probably say, I'm not sure if I would spend the time unless you could get it like really, really cheap. But even then, it's suspect because who am I going to sell it to? When I look on the investor base, I don't find anybody. The second one, it depends on the price, right? Because if the price is really good, then novation definitely would be in play on that particular property. Here, you're definitely going to have both novation and also fix and flip. Because if I take this property and I put it right into, let's see here. Is that it? Yeah, let's put it into here. Now, when we go into here, you can see now all the activity, right? So then you could say, well, I'm going to target, I'll probably want to talk to just flippers because I'm going to do a wholesale deal and there's enough of them. If there's not enough, you could do landlords, but landlords, you'd have to go through more landlords than flippers. So I'm going to go ahead and redo the search here. And then when we look at this market, now this is the thing about that particular market is we got to be mindful of the days on the market. So if I do a search over here, oh, look, I ended up selling. This lead came in quite a bit ago. So it sold for 222. 222. While we're here, I'm gonna see if I'm gonna see what the asking price was when they first submitted the lead, because that would be interesting, right? And then I feel like oh my gosh, who bites that one up, right? Because that one was a good deal. So let's take a look at. Oh, I just realized I have Chrome also running in the background. Chrome is such a memory hog. All right, so um, that's not gonna work. So interestingly enough, that lead submitted on various lead forms asking 220 or 225. So it looks like it did sell for that much, and it looks like it came in around January. So I don't know what happened. Maybe somebody dropped the ball, but it looks like it wasn't us that did it. Somebody else did it. So it looks like there was definitely a deal there. And then that's why you got to be quick on these when they come in, and have your game on in terms of being able to speak with property owners, etc. Now, the one thing about this particular market is that on this particular market is a market that is very a lot of inventory. So in this particular market, if the seller was asking for that price point, then first order of business is to, when you see this much activity, is to figure out what's the inventory. Um, let's see here. If I click on here and I'm going to reset the filters, I'm going to select houses, hit apply, and then I am going to select pending. So you notice I have 430. I'm going to click on here, and there's 605. Oh, 605, 430. 430 minus 605 is 175. 175 divided by 605. 28%. 28% turnover. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That would that's a good market. That is a very good market. So I don't know what happened with that lead. That came in and somebody didn't get it. Um, so, but now if we looked at investor base and we do the search here, this is Flippers. Investor base will tell you like who are the most likely. I don't know why this thing is so slow. Who are the most likely buyers for this particular property? And so then those are the two tools. Those are the three things that we use: Google Maps, investor base. Did I say investor lift? I meant to say investor base. Only because this tool is less expensive than investor base, and we use it for comping a lot. So again, if I click on here and we go back here, yeah. I wonder what happened. I wonder if yeah, there's lots of activity. So if I go here and I select flippers, I do another search, and then it would give me just the flippers, which are the blue. And you can see that there is a ton of activity here. So the most likely people for your deal would be this. So if you got that at a good deal, or you're talking with a seller, you can easily look at these here. And let's say if you're looking for something similar square footage, 1,200, this guy bought it at 200, and then sold it at 282. This one bought it 215. So you can see here they bought a 73% ARV, 71% ARV, 73% ARV. So they're buying pretty high ARVs, which means that the area is hot. And so then now you can look at this and know, okay, I kind of know what I need to be. In this example, the seller was asking 225. So is it likely that if they were asking 225, maybe whoever got the deal got it for 200, 205, and then went ahead and wholesaled it, and then somebody bought it at the 225 number because that's kind of like what it looks like that they're buying them at. But this is not a full blown tutorial, but at least it'll give you some guidance in terms of the process that you would follow with these leads in order to narrow them down and just figure out exactly who's a prospect, who's not, and then go after those. By the way, you should check out this other video. Pop up right there. That's the one where I teach you our whole model of running ads and the nationwide model. So check that video out.